Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of The Hard Choice. Simple steps for showing up. My name is Brad Draper, and it is an honor to have this conversation with you right here, right now, because the nuggets I'm going to drop today are so impeccable. I'm fired up about what we got going on, where we're moving, and what I'm hearing from you guys. I had a conversation this week from a listener on how much this show has impacted them. I want you to think about that. Where are you impacting people's lives? Are you having these conversations to where you being you, doing you, is impacting somebody else? I hope you are having these experiences. And if you're not, what do you need to do to have them? You don't need a podcast. I mean, you have a social, I'm sure, because, that's how you build a brand. It's the cheapest way. It's free to build a brand. You don't need all this fancy dancy stuff. You just need a bit of creativity and a lot of consistency. That is how you build a brand. I was talking to a friend just the other day. He has, a couple 100,000 followers between the different platforms. And he said, I didn't have anybody like or follow or share my stuff for the first year, but he dedicated full year of posting on every platform possible: LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, now known as X, which is dumb. He posted on all of them every day for a year. And then all of a sudden, in droves, he saw 100,000 followers in 3 months. The algorithm favored him. But in your life, how are you showing up for other people? What are you doing? Are you in it for you and your bank account? Or are you in it for the impact? Helping other people get what they want. My goodness, my mouth. It's not always going to be perfect, like that right there. And so often we get nervous about being human, about imperfection. But perfectionism isn't even a thing anyways, and it's the ultimate procrastinator. The ultimate, because you'll never hit it. Why are you waiting to be perfect in something when you will never be perfect? Therefore, it will never come if you're waiting for perfection. How about you just get on with dirty action? And then you'll actually move that needle. Now on to today and what I have for you. I have a friend, more of an acquaintance actually. We see each other a couple times a year at an event. She posted and said, what have you invested in yourself recently to move the needle? More specifically, what have you invested to the dollar? How much have you invested financially in your mind, in your body, in your spirit, and how much time, exact time, have you put into your growth? And that will be the true determinant on if you actually move the needle or not. That includes listening to podcasts like this one. That includes meditation. That includes reading books and going to religious services if you're into that. That includes having meaningful, intentful conversations with people that actually bring you up and move the needle. And I started writing down because nobody had actually put it down on her post. She is normally somebody that has a lot of engagement, and this post had 0 engagement. So I decided to do a little self-audit. Where have I financially invested in myself, in my growth, in my mind, my body, my spirit in the last 30 days? And I started writing it down. And it was extensive. It was way more than I thought. To put this in perspective, for me, it was a ton. I paid, in the last 30 days, I'm around $8,000 guaranteed into my system, invested into programs, into mentorships, into trips to move the needle, to events in other states. Fun fact, you don't need to just do events in your state. There's a thing called an airplane, and you can go to other states. I went to Beverly Hills. I went to Scottsdale, Arizona. I'll be going to Nashville in a week and a half. Not even a week and a half. Yeah, next Friday. I'll be there for 1 day. I leave at 11 p.m. Thursday night. I land at 7 a.m. in Nashville. I attend this event from 8 to 5. I go straight to the airport, and I come home, and I land at midnight. That is a 25-hour swing of a trip. Why? Because I speak at TEDx the next day. I speak at noon, 12 hours after I land at midnight. At noon, I speak at TEDx. We have these preconceived notions, these limiting beliefs that, I can't go to that event because I got TEDx on Saturday and I need to go to bed early. No, you don't. That's a 12-hour window. You don't sleep for 12 hours. I might sleep for like 6 to 8. So I can get home, get to bed by 1 a.m., sleep to 7 or 8, get up, plenty of sleep, plenty of go-go juice to hit the stage. Where in your life are you holding yourself back? This idea of I can't do whatever it is because of some preconceived notion. This event I'm going to is a very special event. It is at this event that I will be introduced to people that will financially move my business substantially. But I don't have the whatever it's going to cost, $2,000 for the trip to get there. There's a reason I'm flying midnight shot, because I don't want to pay for the hotel. So I fly overnight, sleep on the plane. And I want to spend as much time with my family as possible. So I leave after they go to bed. What are you willing to guarantee in your life? And you've probably heard and noticed I've used the word guarantee a few times. You can say, what's the cost? That's a pretty unresourceful word. Typically, when you think cost, that means money goes out and doesn't come back. Money leaves. To the unconscious mind, money leaves when you say cost. So we up the verbiage, right? You hear people, what's the investment? What's the investment? That insinuates and presumes that money will go out and money can come back. Doesn't mean it will. I don't know about you, but I have paid many investments where I lost 5 figures, high 5 figures, pushing 6 figures. I've lost 6 figures. Not yet in a single transaction, but I say yet because that will come. Those are learnings, and they're required to learn and become this kind of person. What are you willing to guarantee? Because a guarantee presumes and suggests you are guaranteed to get your money back, right? You buy something and it has a guarantee on it, so if it breaks, you get another one. There's no risk, 0 risk, because you're guaranteed your money back. How about you start using that verbiage? What are you guaranteed on? I guarantee I will win because that's in my control. I guarantee you will win because that is in your control. You put it all on the line and you must back your back up against a wall. You actually have to lose something. I just contracted today with a marketing company. He's a good friend. We've been in the same coaching group for a couple of years. I've been in there a year. He's been in there several years. And I contracted with him today money that is not currently in my account on a monthly reoccurring basis. What does that mean? I must execute. I must make deals happen. And I guarantee they will because it's entirely on me. And who else am I willing to bet on? I'm very much so willing to bet on myself because I have put in that credit limit that we've spoke about. My credit score is exceptional, 820 with myself because I've built up with this with resilience. And I had a conversation on Friday. this past week with one of my mentors. I love him dearly. He's a new mentor, and he is an amazing man. And I was telling him about a project that I felt a download that I needed to sell a year ago, actually, almost to the day of recording this podcast episode. And it dawned on me, have I considered the fact that me 1 year ago was not the person to sell the product, but me today, 12 months, 1 year later, is the person to sell? I had to put this project on the back burner so I can focus on my mind, so I can invest or guarantee these different transactions to become the person that would yield the relationships. And it is with those relationships and that team that the product could be effectively and efficiently sold. That all came by putting dollars and time, energy of time, energy of service, into my mind, into my body, and into my spirit. That only comes with intention. I want you right now, I want you to pause this episode and write down physically, either on paper or on your phone. I don't care. I want you to get it out of your brain and off of your bank statement. How many books you've read in the last 30 days? I've read 5. How much money have you spent? Have you invested? Have you guaranteed? On your mind, your body, your spirit. Mine is, without looking at the number, right around $8,000. How many minutes or hours have been dedicated to your growth, your mind, your body, your spirit? When I looked at it, it was about 160 hours or so in a 30-day window. That 30 days, what is that? Like 720 hours in 30 days? Reduce the amount of time you're sleeping. For me, it's 6 to 7 hours. That left over about 300 hours. Over half of that was dedicated to my growth. That is why my momentum is higher right now in my life than it has ever been. Because I am in a make it or break it season. I've started a new company. If I don't close deals, my family doesn't eat. If I don't close deals, my family doesn't have their own roof over their head. How's that for backing yourself up against a wall? If you go hunt the buffalo and you don't get a buffalo, they don't eat. There is no backup. There is no plan B. There is only plan A. That's why it's a guarantee. Another one of my mentors says, you must actually put something real on the line to really move the needle past the ceiling, to smash through that ceiling that you have. For me, it's financial. Put something actually on the line. And in that exact capacity, it was going to his event in Scottsdale. Cost me about $2,000. $2,000 I did not have at the time. I closed a deal at that event for $20,000. So was it worth it? I would not have closed that contract if I didn't go. Of course it was worth it. It was a guarantee. Change this process in your mind. Write down how much you've done, and it will put right in front of your face the reason why you have extreme momentum or the lack thereof. You will be transparent in knowing your stance. And knowing your stance, you can know where to go, because you can't know where to go, or you can't know where to go if you don't know where you're starting. So write it down. This is no shame. This is not trying to put you in a situation where you're like, oh, I didn't do any of it. This is putting you in a position where you know the starting point. That way you can execute the plan to the end point. You can't get to an end goal if you don't know the start point. That is what I have for you today. That is what I want you to do immediately. Like I said, pause this episode and write it down. Get to it, Skippy, because that is where you're starting. And that is how you build momentum. Extreme momentum. Like I said, I've never in my life had as much momentum as I have now until I started writing down all that I've done to build the momentum. So get to building. I love you guys. I'm grateful to have this conversation with you. Share this conversation with your friends and your family. That's the only way this grows. That is the only way you move your needle. We started this episode on how you influence others. You can influence others by sharing this episode if it lands with you, or if you think it'll land with somebody else. I guarantee it will. Use the word guarantee. Download this thing, like it, subscribe it, leave me a review. Apple, Spotify, YouTube, wherever. And as always, my handle is Mr. Brad Draper. I love you guys. Bye.